This is the Business Leadership Series Minute with your host and best-selling author of Don't Buy a Duck, Derek Champagne.
You talk in your book about obsessing over the customer. You talk about putting customers first. Tell me, I can't get enough of learning about putting the customer first because I see so many businesses that build a product or service and don't continue to check in with the customer, make sure it's relevant, and they're not always changing and growing. What does that mean to obsess over the customer?
Well, first, the key word there is obsession, right? And a lot of companies talk about being focused or being in tune with their customer or whatever. But obsession, is typically used as an extreme word, right? Like you're typically not well understood by other people when you're obsessed about something. And so it really means willingness to do the hard thing for the customer, despite that is a hard thing to do. You maybe need to expand in a way that you hadn't expanded before. You really need to fight through some issues internally and externally. And so it really is kind of just sets the tone that we're willing to do hard things on behalf of the customer. And they really use that as the leaping off place for driving growth and innovation in the business. And so I think that's the first thing. And then the second thing is, kind of like, how do they go about doing it? And I'd say the most basic thing that they do is they put metrics into everything. So they think about and they work. How do we measure things appropriately and concisely? How do we measure? And then how do we use those measures inside of our business to drive improvement? And they spend more time talking about how do we measure something than oftentimes you talk about like what the actual service is or the new product or the new capability. And so really thinking about how to put measures in place that represent the customer experience and then using those measures to drive everyday improvement and excellence is the tone and tempo of Amazon.
To hear full episodes of the Business Leadership Series, visit blsnow.net.